questions from your subject matter generally, because I'm also outdated in a way. But I try to make you realize that most of the questions come from your resume, whatever you give. People pick questions from there. So you have to be very comfortable with what you are trying to tell. At the end of the day, you should be very comfortable with what you are saying. One thing yesterday we saw was there was complete lack of understanding of the biodata they have written. At least today people are well prepared. I think probably 2-3 people are well prepared in their biodata. But I think since this opportunity you get for the next, what you call 2-3 days or 2 months, you should prepare in a very positive way. And do not go on, you don't have to be a very research scholar, okay? A casual reading would help you. You can use wiki page, to read through that matter. Try to, because this 2 months, any external affairs matter happening would be of any matter, for that matter, current affairs matter is very important for you. They are going to talk about a subject matter which happened 2 days before, 3 days before. And you have to be extremely good in what you are telling them. And which means that it's like, there you have to be very scholarly. One of the questions I asked him is that, why should I hire you? At the end of the day, I always ask this, self-appraise yourself. We don't hire someone just because you answered 80% of the questions. You have to understand, you try to go back home, read definitions of certain things, like personality. If I ask you what is the definition of a personality, you have to know what it is. So I don't know, most of you wouldn't have studied psychology. There are definitions for it. Personality, character, and intelligence. So you should put your own parameters. See whether you are meeting those parameters. If you are on the board, will you hire yourself? That's a question you should ask. And that is the way forward. If you want to actually grow and make yourself, this is not just for this job, okay? I've always seen those people who are not cleared also. This entire part of preparation makes you a different person. Have you noticed this one? You wouldn't have done this kind of preparation even in your school, college. Maybe there's a joke people normally say that if I had done the same thing which I had done right now, I would have been a school topper, college topper, isn't it? Most of you would have done the kind of effort you have put right now, would have been better persons. And it is always good to work on you, okay? Life is like, they normally tell you that learning is just a beginning. It doesn't end actually. And jobs at a different level need to learn all the day. What I learned when I was giving exam and what I do right now is very different. And learning is part of your job. And learning is very important. So that's how there has to be curiosity in certain things. When you're saying something, you have to understand why is it working that way, why is it not working this way. So we look for 2-3 main things, okay, whether you have an analytical mind or not. Factual mind is okay, any child will come and tell you that mind is there. Are you intelligent enough to understand ways of things? Do you have a balanced view of things? So that is how you look at an intelligent way of looking at things, okay. So if somebody is hiring you, you should see whether you are intelligent enough to be hired. Because you will be an administrator where you have to take decisions which are neutral. Just because you are a fan of some Ronaldo, you decide that, okay, he is the best and others are bad. You may be in a selection committee for selecting sports person. Okay, so just because you think this fellow likes that fellow, it doesn't help him to come inside. Because I think UPSC is the only body probably which is non-representative in the nature. It's completely bureaucrats, okay, and it has given the best results in I think ever since it was formed. Nobody can say that my uncle is some guy in somewhere, so or my father is some guy somewhere and I will get you an IAS job. It has never happened, right? I don't think any prime minister's children become IAS officer, although they would want to become one. Or any chief minister, they would have always got into this road. It works. I think probably 2 organizations in the entire country is very neutral. One is Supreme Court, which is also very non-representative. Time and again, there are some issues, but mostly they have been very neutral. One would be UPSC. And UPSC is one body which is completely neutral. You go there, the kind of people they pick in, and there are reasons they pick in. I see a person who was third class, they can be picked. You could be gold medalist, platinum medalist, and you would be not picked. Okay, it's not the fault of UPSC. They are looking for some qualities. Read that one, okay? I don't know, have you seen why an interview is done? And there's actually a reason why an interview is done. They write it in that gazette. Have you read that part? In fact, if you had read that part, not many people would have written those hobbies, funny hobbies which you had written in your hobbies. Have you read that part where they define hobbies in that notification? You get them that part. There's a reason why they do your personality check. Understand why a personality test is done. Maybe if you are from a HR background, somebody can read. Okay, so that's the reason you have to be clear of what you are, where you are coming from. They can ask you any question. Like him, he studied in Madurai, so I asked him question about Sangam literature. That's just to give you a feel that anything can be asked. Okay, so you have to be very, and if you are answering it well, you hit the right chord. Like he answered some question on rubber plantation. Since I am not aware of rubber plantation, what if somebody is sitting who knows much about rubber plantation? So go beyond what you know. If you said some number MP6 or something, no? So you have to know what are the other numbers which are there. So and it is a scholarly way of understanding. What is scholar? So see a definition of a scholar. What do you understand from a scholar? Educated and a scholar. So I always use this word. You have to be very scholarly. You have to understand the holistic perspective. Be balanced. I think probably you guys will do better. I think we had a good interview day today, so I think it's good. But work on it. Look at your posture. I think we have asked you to give your videos back to you so that you can see how you are answering. So that you can see, you learn from them. And it is just a beginning of learning, okay? It doesn't stop. You have always come. The moment you get into IAS, your life changes. I can assure you this bit. Although it's very difficult there, people give you stories that you can't work. In Tamil Nadu cadre, you can't work. Or you can't work in UP cadre. And all, okay. In every cadre you can work if you are intelligent enough to work. You will find your ways to do things. So that's my point. Don't go by, be your own person. And you have to rate yourself. If I ask you, describe yourself, you should be of some value to yourself, right? What is the value you are bringing in? So you should know what you think that you are giving it back to the society or something like that. So, are you a go-getter? So, if you are a go-getter, what does that mean? Or are you a task finisher? These are small things, okay? But these are very important things. Or your logical mind. That's the reason we hire people. I ask you this question, just because you don't answer questions. Or your logical mind. Can you go through things? Can you plan things? Can you anticipate things? Can you visualize things? Can you see everything in fragments and understand? I remember when I was asked to, I think probably one of the interviews they asked me, you are the district collector of Kanchipuram. And how do you promote tourism? So I didn't know much, okay, so I said something also. But you guys have scope. How do you understand things? You have to see for everything. You can't say that I'll bring tourist buses, I'll put more buses to come. You have to create facilities, which you observe by traveling. Toilets are also a very important point of, in tourism, toilets are very important. How do you promote that? So only if you have been a tourist, you will be able to understand what are the requirements of a tourist. And 100% all 6 would have traveled somewhere. So you would have faced some difficulties as a tourist. So from there you can start your answer. That is your beginning of your answer. You know when you entered a place, you know you didn't find that, you didn't find that, you didn't find that, you didn't find that. This was good. This could have been improvised upon. See, now you know that how do you make a holistic system. It's a very easy answer. Okay. All you have to do is imagine yourself something. If I ask you, you have never worked as a tourism officer, how will you improve tourism? So you can start from something else. If I am a tourist, what is that I look for? Okay. So in fact, if you are able to place an answer like that, if the same question is asked right now, I would begin with this premises, sir, if I am a tourist, this is what I look for. So these are the facilities which the government should provide for these people. And government is technically a facilitator. So every answer has some kind of, you have to be, different. Even in UPSC when they correct papers, they always see this one, okay. They know Vajiram answers, they know, they also get the same notes, okay. See, this fellow will write the same Vajiram answer, they'll think same people. So there is no originality. Then again I come to the point called originality, okay. So you have to find how original are you. How is this fellow different from this fellow different from this fellow, and how is that, if I ask you the same question, how is he different from there? And another thing which I would prefer is knowledge sharing, okay. Our society is one of those worst societies of knowledge sharing, okay, because that's how some people control the other part of the people, okay, because they thought sharing knowledge. So I don't know, this is general feeling, okay, general sharing knowledge, if I share this with him, then this fellow will become as intelligent as me, okay. Have you noticed this one? This is a very typical Indian mentality, okay. If you go to other societies, sharing knowledge is it's actively promoted. In fact, if you work in an MNC and all, sharing knowledge is a very actively promoted thing. I also think when you are there, instead of criticizing how things went about, learn something, talk about it, ponder about it. So I think knowledge sharing is also a very important process. So when you are doing all this preparation right, you can also become a better person by doing many other things in your life. I use the word grooming, okay. You can groom yourself to what you want to be. And there's this very famous, this thing, okay, statue, whatever, picture, where there is a sculpture which is actually sculpting itself from the rock. Every person who was sitting inside us, or sitting inside is someone who has sculpted himself out of a rock. And you have the opportunity, the mission, the tool, everything is in your hands. Whatever you want, you can become one, okay. Have you noticed this one? Is there a doctor here? You're a doctor, right? So you would know that we can actually train our body to become something. It's not what God given us, okay. You don't grow and get arthritis. You don't get a back pain. Okay. My theory is that you can actually stop arthritis. Yes or no, doctor? Yes or no? You can train yourself to become something. So there's always opportunity training. How do you train yourself to become what you want to be? So that is what we are looking at, okay. So I gave you points. Now logical mind, scholarly, application of mind. How do you analyze intelligently? How do you train yourself to become something? These are the qualities which they will be looking at. But you cannot say that I have a logical mind to understand this one, okay. This should come subtle way. Your answers should express in such a way that these qualities of yours, you can't say, sir, I'm a logical mind, a go-getter, I finished task and all, okay. So that doesn't matter and they'll start laughing, okay. You cannot read it out, okay. So you should say that since I have been working, so they should be allowed to understand. It's not like what you call the Tamil or Indian movies, okay. Every character is told, okay, मैं इधर जा रहा हूँ इसलिए वो आया था, पूरा explain करते हैं, okay. They keep explaining it. You don't have to do that bit. What you can do is, you tell, it's like English movies, okay, like Ho Henry stories. You will show your strength, let the, interviewer assume or get what you want to be. So that part you have to train yourself. I think you guys will do very well. Let's see, your names should come in the paper, okay. But work, and there is nothing, no supplement to hard work, okay. You have to work. The way you work for your prelims, the way you work for mains, it's the same way you will work for interview. It's not that you wore a nice shirt that day with gods and kings of Louis Philippe and they gave you a mark, okay, it's fellow as a good shot. That's what I asked you to read these definitions, okay. Go depth, see what is personality, character, what is integrity, okay. I actually believe in civil service, if you ask, there is only one policy. We remember this very funny quote, say honesty is the best policy. Have you heard of it? But do you actually think it's very significant? You don't think so? But when you join a civil service, right? Any civil servant sitting here, they'll know a lot of our lives depend on that simple thing. And whoever genius who wrote, right? He didn't write saving money is the best policy. He didn't say thinking is the best policy. If you remember, there is nothing of that. But they wrote this one. Honesty is the best policy. If you think over it, you will understand why it is very important. And they ask you that one stupid question will come, okay? You are 65% honest or 60% honest or 10% honest. You can't say I'm 50% honest, okay? There is only one thing, okay? Either you are honest or it is honest. There is nothing called 95% honesty and 5% dishonesty, okay? So do not try to answer. I think there was this lady during our times called Arundhati Ghosh, okay? She asked this question. She will always ask this question. How good are you? How honest are you? Okay. So try to be on the better side of things, okay? Do not try to be very pragmatic. You think you are trying to be pragmatic, you will end up being stupid. If they ask you a good boy, I'm a good boy. You can't say I'm a 60% bad boy and 40% thug life, okay? So that you can't say. So you're a good boy means you're a good boy. So work on it. The personalities, I don't think there is a person who cannot work on it. I had stage fear, but at one point of time you'll learn to talk to people, okay? So you will leave everything. So that's what, like I said, anything, anybody can be trained to do something. You could see those people who go to army, right? Why army people are very proud? Have you noticed why army people are very proud? They are as good as, okay, as they're junks, okay? The kids who go there are junks. Literally junk, okay? They are worst. They are thin, no mind, nothing. But the kind of training they go through, they can do 1,000 squats. They can do 1,000 push-ups, okay? It's a person like you and me. If I ask you to do 20 squats, you will not do. You see that movie, no? What is that movie? I think it's a movie on Marines or Navy SEALs. Okay, it's a nice movie. How training is very important, okay? You can train yourself to become something. I think probably I'll speak, the biggest gyan I would give you is that whatever you want to be, you can actually train yourself to become one. So that's the thing I want to end with today, okay? Train yourself to be the better person you want to see yourself. This is an opportunity that nobody gives you, okay? You have an opportunity to go serve. And don't be disappointed if you are not at a good interview and all. But you had done something for yourself, okay? It's not any effort you put, it's not going to go waste. Somewhere down the line, your understanding of the constitution, you are a better person than your colleague doctor, colleague engineer. I know engineering students who don't even know anything about law, constitution and all. Yes or no? But here, sitting here, you know what is happening. You have a better wide view of, actually your eyes keep opening with things, okay? So you will have a very better analytical mind in the course of time. So use this opportunity, train yourself, succeed well.